His Tinder picture versus him in real life. People are claiming that Stalin here is catfishing people, but I don't even know if I agree. He definitely looks different a little bit, but I don't think it's that bad. When you have to announce to the Pope that Constantinople has fallen to the Turks. Yeah, that one's gonna be a hard one. No, Germany with the first accidental rocket in space. The USSR with the first satellite in space. Also the first man in space. Also the first satellite on the moon. First man on the moon with the USA. But then the USSR gets the first satellite on Venus. France randomly launching the first cat in space. But oh yeah, the USA won the space race. You know, it's kind of funny they mentioned the whole USSR satellite to Venus thing, cause that has kind of an interesting story. Hilter, you had a great army, Joseph, but mine is more advanced in every way. The Red Army. How do you solve the icing problem? Oh wow, that's legitimately what happened. Is that what they based Iron Man off of? WW2, the Eastern Front. American settlers want to join our war? France, hell no. It's against the British. There is no call we do not answer. There is no faith that we betrayed. That's one thing for sure during this time period. If you were fighting the British, it'd be pretty easy to get a French ally. World War I starts. Britain dragging all their colonies. Don't you try to get away. We send you guys to the front lines. We have Stalin's death here with the seat of power, throwing it back to all of these other good candidates except Khrushchev with the interception out of nowhere. But let's not forget the alley-oop here from Marshal Zhukov. Oh, USA right here at the very end. 12-year-old me discovering that man didn't go to the moon because we thought it would be fun and interesting, but because we were embroiled in an elaborate PP measuring contest. Isn't this pretty much the thing throughout all of history though? The thing Henry Ford is famous for, and the other thing Henry Ford is famous for. You can't be a fan of Ford vehicles without having to hear this every day. When you find out the Kaiser, Tsar, and King called each other Willie, Nicky, and Georgie. Kaiser Wilhelm, Tsar Nikolai, oh, and King George. Oh, sounds like WW1 was just like a giant game to him. Mussolini reacts to Hitler assuming power in Germany, 1933. That's my ideology! I made that! That's my fascism, and you stole it! Okay, I'm gonna assume the Italian leader probably wasn't that sad in 1933, but if he knew how the memes were gonna depict him decades later, then maybe he would be a little bit jealous. Blow my mind, haha. The medieval era lasted from the fall of the Roman Empire to the fall of the Roman Empire. They mean because Byzantium fell back in 1453. This man who oofed anyone that was intellectual, had a religious background, spoke French, or wore glasses. Also, this very same man, having a Buddhist background, was an intellectual, spoke French, and wore glasses. I don't know if I would say he was always an intellectual. I feel like we should have removed that title considering all the stupid things he did. Mao Zedong, carefully making the dumbest decisions ever to disrupt the ecosystem and oof millions. Ah yes, that great leap forward. Yo, Phalaris, I built that bull you wanted. Now people's screams will sound like a bull from inside a bull. Fabulous. I literally cannot wait to try it out. Get in. Wait, that wasn't a part of the plan. I literally have nightmares about this brazen bull. I've never been able to get out of my head. Do not violate Swiss airspace. Shut up, Idly. You're not my dad. Violate Swiss airspace. Ah! Do not violate Swiss airspace. Shut up, Dad. You're not my oh wait, you are. Gets shot down. Ah! Haha, stupid America, says No, Germany after doing literally the exact same thing. Oh yeah, they were neutral, alright. And by neutral, I mean they will neutralize anyone in their airspace. French Army's surplus rifles for sale. Never fired, only dropped one. Oh, that's just mean. Ancient Pompeii victim, not crushed by stone block after all, archaeologists say. Oh, thank goodness. I guess he's gonna be okay. The Austro-Hungarian Empire in World War I be like, ugh. While Russia is literally unfazed. The only thing that could take down Russia is Russia themselves. Alcohol, because no great story ever started with a glass of milk. Come again? How about a mouthful of she-wolf milk that would lead to the rise of the Roman Empire? Didn't think about that, did you? Two Native American tribes going at each other, all the while the fur traders selling both sides guns. They was a businessman doing business. Lyndon Johnson, after escalating the Vietnam War, after his wife buys up all the defense industry shares. Yes, I'm so relieved that our American politicians today no longer do any insider trading. It's great that we no longer have to worry about this. The British saying, whoever this person is, please don't side with Napoleon. I'll give you Norway. Oh, is this why the Norwegian territory was just kind of passed around like the village bicycle? I feel like they were pretty much just a Pokemon card being traded back and forth between Sweden and Denmark. Basil Din, a British Indian army soldier who was impaled by the sword of a Japanese officer. He pulled out the sword, oofed the officer who stabbed him, and another enemy soldier, destroyed an entire enemy position, and walked 25 yards with a hole in his chest to deliver his report. So that's who this guy is based off of. No, Germany be like, I receive the Sudetenland, and you'll receive nothing. And Britain at the time was like, you know, that doesn't sound that bad. Why do you need a bigger gun? To shoot bigger tanks. Yeah, that makes sense. Next, why do you need 4 guns? To shoot aircrafts. But we've destroyed the Luftwaffe already. Why? Just why? I got curious. Okay, America, stop asking questions. The Sherman tank variants don't need to make sense. That last one, though, was the T-31 demolition tank. It was intended to destroy beach obstacles in amphibious landings, but wasn't used for D-Day. Again, this stuff doesn't need to make sense. It's fine. A history TikToker with almost 100,000 followers has sparked a debate on the platform. She made a series of videos saying ancient Rome wasn't real. She argued Greece was the power player of the time period between 4th and 2nd century BC, not Rome. I feel like I should start doing that too. I'm just gonna start claiming that the British Empire wasn't real so I can get articles written about me. France was the real power player at that time. I'm sure that's not gonna trigger anybody. Historians holding up 300 Greeks losing at Thermopylae. All the while, no one cares about the 200 Indians winning against 6,000 Pakistanis and 40 tanks. But no one really cares about the 21 Sikhs winning against 10,000 Afghans. What? How would that even be possible? This was in 1897 in South Asia. Somehow they did take out almost 450. Here's a little bit more backstory behind that first meme. The USA with the first communications, weather and geostationary satellites, also the first orbital photograph of Earth, also the first pilot-controlled space flight, also first spacecraft docking, also first orbital telescope, also first humans on the moon, while the Soviets first oof of a dog in space. And yeah, the logic is that the Soviet Union dissolved, so who really got the last laugh here? Red Baron, I want my plane red so the enemies fear me. The allied anti-aircraft gunners on the ground who have a clear shot. I still don't understand how he did so amazing when he literally had a massive target on his back. Everyone literally knew it was him, but they were still intimidated. And he's still officially credited with 80 air combat victories. I was just learning the other day, you know how hardcore these old pilots had to be? Like nowadays, there are so many instruments inside of planes that, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it certainly helps. And they definitely didn't have that technology back in like 1917. So now the Gauls are trapped inside Elysia, but they have 250,000 reinforcements coming. So what does Caesar do? You're not gonna believe this. He builds a freaking wall. Can't believe someone captured my previous Tinder date. I don't think I need to say it didn't go well. European rich families, when the monarch dies and forgot to decide on a successor, you would think that'd be like the first thing they'd have to do. Every time you get oofed, the whole nation breaks off into chaos. Just name somebody now for backup. You could always change it later. Oh wait, that would actually probably cause problems too. Knights probably had worse PTSD than modern soldiers since they always had to fight their enemies in melee combat, and burning down village was literally a normal war tactic. Yeah, kids, hallucinations, a lot due to feeling guilty, no therapy. Hollywood looking at all of this and just gonna go ahead and throw that all away. Nah, they were literally all psychopaths. Having a song about your soldiers being better than heroes of antique, having song about flower named Erica, having song about fried onions being so good. That's some French logic for you there. Stand down, Filipinos, you're outnumbered. Philippines, shut yo goofy. And here's a live look at the Battle of Yoltong. 900 Filipinos versus 40,000 Chinese troops. Pinoy pride. This is a term that arose during the foreclosure of farms during the Great Depression. Neighbors would gather in large numbers at the auction and place bids of only a few pennies while intimidating anyone who attempted to bid competitively. In the end, the bank that owned the farm would get whatever was bid, and the neighbors would return the farm and its contents to the farmer. Now that's how you work around the system right there. Poland, the only allied country that lost territory after WW2. Bulgaria, the only Axis country that gained territory from WW2. Wait a second, I feel like this has kind of flown under the radar. USA, refining the English language, but not showing getting rid of the U in flavor because telegrams are expensive. Was that what happened to color as well? You've been invited to join a fun youth club for boys. It's Germany, 1937. Well, luckily you'll probably not be in that fun youth group for very long, since you'll be dead. The toilet was a damaged toilet, which was going to be thrown overboard. One of our plane captains rescued it, and the ordnance crew made a rack, tafflins, and a nose fuse for it. Our checkers maintained a position to block the view of the air boss and the captain while the aircraft was taxiing forward. Just as it was being shot off, we got the 1MC message from the bridge. What the hell was on 572's right wing? Imagine having your house destroyed by a toilet. Men who validate their masculinity by being mean. Men who validate their masculinity by helping others and being kind and supportive. Men who validate their masculinity by forming a 256 men Macedonian whatever that is. Yeah, I need to try that one day. Civil War soldier, my leg feels sore. The Civil War medic. Say no more. I got you, buddy. Nikita Khrushchev be like, the difference between the Soviet Union and China is that I rose to power from the peasant class, whereas you came from the privileged Mandarin class. Zhao, true, but there is this similarity. Each of us is a traitor to his class. Ooh, got him. I guess he was saying Khrushchev betrayed the peasant class. Was this the final straw in the whole Soviet-China alliance? And big thanks to the Christmas patrons, AryanAfterHours, Drew's Arab Sugar Daddy. What are you doing, Step Drew. Why am I doing this?
This is Gabe,
Stormtrooper
Rye
501,
the Pie,
Mine Brothers 9999
Nemo
X2,
Shiki,
McBlorf,
Max
Majestic
Cooper,
Unicorn,
LuxembourgLover,
Ivan Lima,
I Love Marx,
Drew's Argentinian Grandpa,
Dalton D,
Cybernetic Ghost of Christmas Past from the
BringBackPolandball,
future, Barnsky W,
and for His Excellency,
King Corey.